It is absolutely incredible. I don't have words for it. Like, it's just astounding. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the all-new 2022 Land Rover Range Rover. I'm finally reviewing the new full-sized Range Rover. It's a very exciting day. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the Land Rover Jaguar here in Lehi, Utah for giving me some time with this vehicle. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below. They have the new Jaguar and Land Rover models, as well as a ton of cool pre-owned inventory, so definitely check them out. I do plan on reviewing as many packages as I can with the new full size, so if you're not subscribed already, I'd recommend subscribing so you can see all of those videos once more of them land. And then on a side note, as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into the video. So under the hood, we have a 3-liter inline-6 that is both turbocharged and supercharged. It goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 395 horsepower and then 406 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the new full-sized Range Rover. First off, you guys can see we have the prominent Range Rover logo there, front and center. And notice how they've gone for a more minimalist design with everything from a front end perspective. So you can see the hood just flat there in the center. You do have this one like body line right there. And then coming down to the headlights, same thing, right? You've got the daytime running light here, and just look how bright that headlight is. Notice with the front grille here, how you have the metallic gray trim, you got the Land Rover logo there. It's offset just like normal. Parking sensors here at the bottom. We have a little camera there on the front end, you can also see. And then notice here with the fog lights at the very bottom. And again, it just has this clean, sleek, minimalist look. And that's kind of what Land Rover is doing with all of their vehicles as they're redesigning them. Now coming to the side here, we've got 285mm tires wrapped around 23-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear. And just because the lighting today, we're going to take a kind of closer look so you can actually see the design here on these 23-inch wheels. They're all blacked out, which contrasts very nicely to the, I believe it's Fuji white on this particular Range Rover. So I think they did a great job with that. And look at the size of the rotors. Remember, 23-inch wheels, and those rotors and the caliper fill it out pretty well. Now this does come with air suspension. That's why it's tucked so tightly, as you can see. Notice you got that parking sensor there off to the side, and then you can see how the fender has been molded. Still have the signature accent piece here on the side of the Range Rover, and then notice how the door handles are tucked in just like what they did with the Velar when they introduced that. You can see the mirrors blacked out. The roof has also been blacked out as well. And if we take a few steps back, you can see the full side profile. So the front portion for the most part looks pretty similar to the previous version, but once you head over to the back side, you guys can see it looks quite a bit different. But again, overall, there's not a bunch of like crazy body lines or anything. It just has this nice, sleek, modern design. So here's our key fob. We have the Land Rover logo there on the back. We have our unlock lock function. This is for the lights to turn them on, and then this is for the hatch. And we still have the cool tailgate hatch situation. So, you know, if you want to have a nice picnic in the back of your Range Rover, well, you can do that, which is awesome. Now, we've got quite a bit happening back here, so let's dive into it. So first off, we have this built-in cargo cover, which I definitely think is an awesome feature. And you guys can see storage space is just absolutely fantastic here in the rear of the new full size. Now, we've got quite a few controls here in the back. We've got controls to actually lower down the seats. We have these controls for the air suspension to raise and lower the rear end, so it's easier to load things up. And then we have these controls right here for this little cargo cover to slide it back. Kind of interesting with the whole setup right there, and it's got like an interesting little graphic on it. But anyways, when you're all done with the rear, you can either press this button or you can press the top one, and the top one will actually do both at the same time, so it'll like fully close, and well, there you go. So let's finish things up here with the rear. So again, you guys can see that awesome two-tone design here in the back, and then I love the new tail lights. Just look how like sharp and distinctive those are. And then I like how you have the trim that kind of connects everything together. It's not a light bar, but it makes it look like it is a light bar. Other than that, you've got parking sensors there at the rear. Notice the exhaust tips aren't popping out like crazy again. They're kind of going for that minimalist, sleek design, and it definitely works. This looks like a spaceship version of a Range Rover, which is pretty cool. now here's the door panel in the rear. So first off, you guys can see with the sunshade here, and then notice the beautiful leather trim below that. And then we've got some piano black trim, and then you got the silver trim below that. And then we have more leather trim, like the whole door panel is covered in beautiful materials. And then you can see here for the shade, and then you got your regular window control right here. And then notice the seat adjustment here on the side of the door panel. And then you can see all the other little adjustments there in that trim piece, which is pretty cool. So lots of adjustment for the rear passengers. Now you can see here with the rear seats, got these nice like pillowy headrests, and then notice it's perforated all down the center portion. And if we actually pop in, look at this. Yes, I know my hair's all messy. It's very windy today. But anyways, got the storage space right here. We've got the climate controls here for the rear passengers. And then if we pull this down, this is kind of like our rear center console. So you have this one button that you can press and it opens up the storage space area. And then you have the other button that you can press and it opens up the cup holders. And overall, very spacious. And these seats are incredibly comfortable. And look, even the grab handle, like look how that's displayed. It just looks like this, and most car manufacturers is just like a crappy piece of plastic. But here in the Range Rover, it is just as bespoke as everything else. Let's head to the front. So going over the front door panel here, you can see really nice from a material standpoint, just like the rear with all of the leather, the metal trim, piano black trim, all of that. Here's the mirrors. They do have blind spot monitoring. And then something I want to mention about the seat adjustment, notice that the memory seat function has been built into it. Again, they're going for that minimalist design. They don't want a bunch of buttons all over. And you can see here with like the mirror adjustment, same thing. We've got your window controls, again, really nice material use all over. And then here are the front seats. So again, look at the leather. Notice perforated here in the center portion. And again, nothing's happening here on the seat because it's all on the door panel. Pedal layout down below, and then look, even the trim piece here on the side is really nice. Look at those paddle shifters. Let's pop in. So here is the steering wheel in the new full size. So you can see with the leather trim all around. And then notice here on this side how we've got all of our cruise controls, paddle shifters there on the back. Even the airbag cover has beautiful leather and stitching on it. And we have our controls here for the center stack voice command controls as well. And we've got our turn signal light stock, windshield wiper stock. And again, look, even the material use on the end is very nice. But there's your steering wheel. It's actually a two-spoke, which I think this is the best looking two-spoke I've seen so far. Now here is the gauge cluster. So again, that control there on the left side, if I press that in and then notice I can scroll through some different menus to see different bits of info here on the car. I can also change it to be like a navigation screen, for example, which is pretty cool. So notice that you can change the display layout. You also have a heads-up display that you can customize as well. So there's just a lot that you can customize and personalize with this. I recommend if you get one, just sit in it for like 30 minutes, play with it, and then you'll find the setup that works best for you. But overall, resolution is fantastic and they did a good job on it. So here's a quick look at the heads-up display right there. And then while we're up here, look at the dash here. Again, beautiful leather all over. And then you can see the vents, how that kind of all connects. And look at this. We still have the double glove box situation here, just like before. And the face on the glove box, notice how there's tons of leather on that as well. I like the button controls there. Definitely intuitive. So here's the center infotainment system. First off, if I pop it in reverse, here's the backup camera. We do have trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. Notice we can go from on-road to off-road with the camera system. It's a cool thing with the whole Land Rover lineup. And then you can also change the angle on the camera viewpoint if you want. Now, moving from that to the rest of the infotainment system, response time, fantastic. And notice how you can just kind of scroll from side to side. You can edit this main screen. And if we press the little vehicle icon right there, notice here with the height, we're at access height. We can go up to normal if we want. And it raises very quickly, actually. And then you got your off-road height, which is the tallest. And notice here with the driving, how you can customize that. So just lots of different things here with the infotainment system. It's easy to use. And then I guess I'll show you guys what the navigation screen looks like as well. And so yeah, overall, again, I think they did a great job with this setup. Now we have our minimalist climate controls just down below. So first off, you pull for fan speed. And then you can push in and it'll take you back to the main menu. And then notice I can push in again, and this is for the seat. So I can turn on the heated seat, for example, if I so desire, which is pretty cool. Now there's a seat button here, and if you press this, it'll pop on with this menu here on the screen. Well, if I actually press it again. And so notice I can do like the seat heat, for example. You've got the adjustments here with the seats that I can also customize. And then there's more, which notice how I can go to like chauffeur mode if I want with the seat. And then, you know, from a folding perspective also, I can fold all of them at once. And so again, there's just so many cool controls built into the new Range Rover. Now we have our center console area here. So first off, we can cover it up with that little piece of trim. And then inside, we've got our wireless phone charger. There's some extra storage space. Shifter is pretty straightforward. So up for reverse, down for drive. Nice leather trim on that. We got our stop start button here. We've got our radio control right here. And then notice we have our drive line selected. And then we have some other functions down below it, like our hill descent control and then our low range. It's kind of hard to see just because of the lighting. But if we press this up, this lets us change the drive modes. So notice that they'll pop up here on the screen. So right now there's comfort. And we can change from that to eco. And then you've got dynamic on the other side. And then we got grass, gravel, sow, mud ruts, sand, and then rock crawl, and then wade. And this will obviously adjust the air suspension as well as stuff like the transmission and engine, depending on the drive mode that you go into, so that the vehicle is, well, best prepared for what you want to throw at it. We've got our cup holders right here, which the thing that I love about this interior is you can cover everything up. So again, they're kind of letting you do that so that you can just have a more minimalist looking interior. Now, notice with the storage space here for the center console, it's quite large. And then we've got the leather trim there on the top. Still have the armrests, which we really don't need armrests anymore because, again, we've got this nice center console. But this is kind of like a Range Rover heritage thing at this point, and so they just keep the armrests in the vehicles. We already went over the glove boxes, so we're going to pop here up to the top where we have a full panoramic sunroof. We have a camera mirror, which is an awesome bit of safety tech. We've got controls for the sunroof as well, and then just a lighter colored headliner. So here's a window sticker for this Range Rover, and I got the color right, Fuji White. Anyways, you can see the standard equipment with the vehicle. So feel free to freeze the frame if you want to read through all of the standard equipment. Now, I am going to be talking about warranty information and reviews now. So you can see 4-year, 50,000 mile limited warranty, and then you've got your roadside assistance, and then 6-year unlimited mileage corrosion warranty. And then notice the base price before options is $104,000. Now this has those awesome 23-inch wheels. 21s are standard, if you guys are wondering. And you can see the rest of the options on this particular one. And then total MSRP, $120,085 after destination charge and all options. Let's see how it drives. So let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood, and again, the heads-up display. Both the mirrors, which do blind spot monitoring. Then throughout the rest of the rear, and let's set off. So setting off in the new full-sized Range Rover, and I just have it in the auto program right now. Just gonna let it do everything for me. And you guys could probably tell earlier in the video, it is a very, very, very windy day today. And the thing that I'm super impressed with is, like, when I'm outside, obviously, you know, getting blown all over the place, but as soon as I step inside this vehicle, like the second that I step inside this vehicle, just gone. Like, I can't even tell that it's windy. That's how good the sound insulation is with this. It is absolutely incredible. I don't have words for it. Like, it's just astounding to me. Now, actually setting off, man, words today, I guess, are difficult for me. This is incredibly smooth. I feel like this is the best air suspension system that I've ever reviewed to date. It was really quick with the response time with raising and with the adjustment as well. And the ride quality seems to be just perfect. Yeah, this is astounding. So you guys know that I had that Mercedes S-Class. I actually just heard the air suspension in the back end just adjust as I went over that bump. That is cool. You guys know that I had that S-Class for a week. And this reminds me of the S-Class, but this is like an SUV form, right? It's just such a serene experience. And I'm not saying that the prior generation full-size Range Rover is not a nice luxury vehicle, but this is a huge improvement. It doesn't look like it from a stylistic perspective because it looks pretty similar. And to the untrained eye, a lot of people might think, oh, it's just a, you know, they might not know that this is the new Range Rover. but man, is this comfortable. So notice what the gauge cluster looks like now that we're in the dynamic program. It actually changed what the gauge cluster looks like. That is another cool feature. That inline six is quick. That inline six is quick. It's kind of interesting how it delivers power. Engines that are turbocharged and supercharged like this are always unique. And the sound, because you can hear a little bit of, like, just the slightest amount of turbo. Yeah, it's always very interesting. I'm interested to see, though, with the other, see what looks like an eco mode. Also just normal with the gauge cluster there. And then comfort programs normal as well. Let's put it back into auto terrain response. But yeah, I mean, this isn't even the, you know, top of the line powertrain for this. Here's what I have to say, summing things up, is from an exterior aesthetics perspective, I think it's a really good looking vehicle. Again, it's very minimalist with the design. And then with the interior on this, it's beautiful. Again, minimalist with the design, it's very comfortable. I feel like I'm in a very high-end luxury vehicle, and the fit and finish and everything is fantastic. And then from a driving perspective, it's just amazing. It definitely feels better than the previous version. It definitely feels smoother, more comfortable. I think this is the best air suspension system that I've tested so far in a vehicle. And so, yeah, if you've got the last generation Range Rover and you're kind of like, should I get the new one? It doesn't look that much different. It drives substantially different. And so I'd say after driving this is definitely worth it. And I mean, the 6-cylinder is really good. I'm excited when a V8 comes in to see what that feels like, but this with a 6-cylinder it's no joke. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this new 2022 Land Rover Range Rover. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Land Rover / Jaguar of Lehigh for giving me some time with this vehicle. Check out their inventory in the description down below. I will see all of you in that next video.